So it seems like there is some play in this wheel right now. We didn't check the other wheel, but here I found the noise, the clunking noise. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move the car back and forth, side to side, and then you can kind of hear the clunking more on the driver's side, and I can kind of feel it in a way through the shock tower right here. So let me see if you guys can hear it. You guys hear that? Let's check this side. That's one of the noises at least. Let me know if you guys figured that one out. Alright guys, it's been a wild day, very wild day. We got some work done and a big mess on the Toyota Camry. So let's start off by giving you the worst information. The worst information is, well, the good one is we got the wheel off, but we got the wheel off by breaking two studs. So I'll show you guys the studs here. They're both right here, both snapped. Just a nightmare to remove these. So essentially what happens with these is these things swell up. I could barely fit a wrench or the right socket on here. I mean, and that's as far as, and when anything past that was swollen, you can't get it in there. And I hammered it with all my might to get it up to here. Luckily we got them off, and then we started tackling the sway bar end link. We already got the top loose, but the bottom is going to be just a pain because there's really no area to get into there. I used the impact gun on this one, so that was nice. Clearly those Allen keys up front are rusted, so you got to kind of get some vice grips from the back of the sway bar end link and grab onto that. Once we take this one off, you know, we can go for a ride and see if it's still clunking, but we can't go for a ride because we got to take this off. So I'm going to be going in and tackling this side of the brakes, re-greasing these brakes, trying to clean them up. We'll see if we can hammer out these old studs without like having to take off this whole knuckle out and get it pressed out or whatever. I can probably tackle that. It's just an additional expense, but you know, once I'm at that point, I'm just gonna buy new lug nuts as well from eBay, just so we don't run into future problems taking these wheels and tires off, because the way it's looking, you know, I'm gonna be back and forth taking stuff apart, trying to work my way around this car and fix it. Now coming around here, we have the battery tied down. Earlier the battery tie down was not here, the battery was just loose, but we found it was actually in the trunk. We tied it down. Now this is crazy because I took this part of the intake apart, and there's actually a reservoir down there under the battery. Not sure if you guys can see it, but the pipe, the intake pipe actually goes down, and there's a drainage, there's a reservoir to drain fluid. And I'm not sure if the reason for that is if you're driving and you're accumulating air into the intake, the remainder of the water actually drains out. But you know, the reservoir doesn't have a drain on the bottom, so it's weird. Like once it accumulates, what happens then, you know? Regardless, we did take this radiator support off. We kind of shifted this whole thing to the left. The reason I shifted that, I took this and the whole assembly here to hood latch assembly. The reason I did that is because I wanted to align the gaps a little bit better, but it's still hard. We even undid these bolts right here, tried to shift the hood there onto the left side. So I show you guys the gaps right here. I don't think they got better, maybe just a hair better, but it's still a pretty noticeable gap right here. And obviously things were shifted. No, we did do some work, because before this was touching, this was just about touching, so we got about a 2 mil progress there, so I'm happy with that.
Great when I'm on stage. Summer's a took him and I miss that place. Used to press your pussy up against my mouth. Now you've had a couple kids and it's all stretched out. Starting to think we can figure it out.
At this point, it's getting late. I'm gonna be cleaning up everything, and we'll tackle the other side tomorrow. The brakes again, I'll make that one whole video again. Hopefully we can make some progress. And yeah, also for the outside, you can see this side how contaminated it is, and this side's just a hair better. So this one actually, my mom actually took the magic eraser. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the magic eraser, and she was scrubbing down here. It's not gonna do much difference, but it did make a difference. It smoothed out the imperfections compared to here. They're all blotchy. But I told her, you know, we're probably gonna have to buff this out to some degree, see what we can do. And I totally forgot to mention, guys, yeah, we took this sway bar end link apart because actually I diagnosed that the lower ball joint on the sway bar end link, that's bad, and it's actually making the knocking noise. So hell, if it's just that from the front suspension making noise, and if the shocks are good, we'll be golden. Now as far as tie rod ends, I'm probably gonna get a new whole set of tie rod ends, inner and outer. The inner side here looks to be in good shape. As you guys remember, the tie rod end on the passenger side was all busted up, so that needs to be replaced. Guys, come inside. Right now what we're doing, we're cleaning the leather seats, and you can see this is a portion that we cleaned already, and this is the old dirty portion. So we cleaned this side, and yeah, big difference in cleanliness. We're taking years and years of dirt, and you know, we're going with the dollar store awesome LA cleaner. This is the same thing we used to degrease the engine with. So I know you leather fanatics out there are gonna be talking smack and, you know, it's too aggressive, but look, it's a one-time thing. We'll buy some kind of conditioner for the leather and it'll be good as new. So right now I'm just gonna proceed with this seat and the whole interior, the dashboard, the door trims. As you can see, it needs a little bit of love. Driver's side, guys, the driver's side before and after. I mean, two different shades of gray, and you can see all the deep crevices where all the dirt is still hiding. That's the only downside on cleaning leather. That's kind of ripping right over here and right over here. The dirt is hiding in those grooves, but we'll get in there, we'll clean it up. But man, so far it's looking much better. All right, guys, it is the next day. We tackled the front seats already. They look much better. Now we're tackling the carpeting, and as you guys can see, there's just coffee staining, years and years of debris, salt all over these carpets. But LA Awesome is doing a fantastic and exceptional job to cleaning all this dirt. Right now I'm doing the back seats right here, and not sure if you guys will be able to pick up the differences. I already cleaned that side. I'm working on this side. And let me show you the carpet we did clean. I didn't catch the before for you guys, but I did but we did clean this side, and a lot of that coffee staining actually was able to get out. So very excited to finish everything around this car here. And then yeah, you can see more of the carpets here, a lot of staining, a lot of dirt. We're gonna try to knock all that out. So all I'm doing is LA cleaner, a brush, a little bit of love, a little bit of hand strength, and then this thing is showing a lot of progress. All right, so this is some of the dirt that's on this towel from cleaning the interior. I'm just gonna spray it off. You guys will see how well that awesome cleaner just works in general. Alright guys, we got all the floor mats cleaned up. We didn't clean the floors yet on the car, but we got all the seats done, all the fabrics are done, dashboard is done. I still gotta get the edges of here of the center console cleaned up, but man, that thing did an amazing job. Very happy with that. Now we're tackling the front suspension here. Again, I already mentioned that I broke those damn lug studs. Now I'm trying to take this disc off right over here. Got the caliper hanging. I got the new brakes. Well, I greased everything up, and again, these sliding pins on the driver's side were completely dried out. I made sure that the piston is moving. I pressed the brakes, everything is working. Now to get this rotor off, we're going to insert this screw into these holes, and what that's going to hopefully do is push this rotor off the knuckle assembly so we can get this off, so we can push out the old studs. Alright, so just watch. We're going to tighten this up. It's going to push against the knuckle. Pop it right out. Just listen for it. Oh, clearly. I did the other side already and it loosened it up just like that. And I was pounding on this thing for like 5 minutes earlier with a hammer without any success. So definitely recommend using this method when you got stuck, seized rotors on your assembly. Now, I don't know if this thing was overheating or not, but let's get this thing off. Now, so I was already online looking at these studs, and there's some online, but I gotta take one out, you know, measure this thing, make sure I can order one that has the same length, not too short, not too long, so we don't have any issues. But I will put something on here, try to knock them out on the other end. Now, as far as I understand here, see, Toyota made a little rivet, a little hole right here, so when you align these studs perfectly with this hole, you can push them out, take them out. On other cars that don't allow you to do this, you got to actually press out the whole hub assembly, then press these in, which is just a nightmare. I'm not sure if my Civic actually has that method over there, because I was debating on putting on wheel spacers on there with extended lug nuts, extended studs, but I'm not sure. But let's go ahead, tackle this, try to knock them out. Got one of them out. Let's get this other one out. Piece of cake, boys. Very surprised it came out so quickly. And yeah, that's where we're at. So it's gonna be the same reinstallation process. Once we get those in, we'll put it through the back, and then you gotta actually use a lug nut and pull so it seats perfectly on there.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cool.